Imagine you're a new manager, and standing before you is Field Marshal Sir William Slim, one of history's greatest military commanders. What advice would he give you? He wouldn't hand you a cheesy vision statement or a list of corporate buzzwords. He'd start with something much more fundamental: observation. Slim famously said, "Defeat is a state of mind." And when he took command of the British 14th Army in Burma during World War II, that's exactly what he faced. This was the Forgotten Army, a force completely worn down by retreat, riddled with disease, and utterly demoralized. They felt abandoned and believed defeat was inevitable. So, what did Slim do first? He didn't give a big, rousing speech. He didn't immediately overhaul the strategy. He just watched. He looked at what his soldiers were actually doing, not just what they were saying. He noticed things. He saw that malaria rates were sky high, but it wasn't because of a lack of medicine. The troops refused to take the foul-tasting anti-malarial pills. He saw uniforms in disrepair and equipment neglected. This wasn't laziness. It was a symptom of a deeper problem. The soldiers had given up. They didn't see the point in maintaining their gear if they were just going to be defeated anyway. These were the small signals that told the real story. And here's our first crucial lesson for any new manager. Before you start changing processes or rolling out new initiatives, look at the conditions that are shaping your team's behavior. Slim didn't blame the medics for the malaria outbreak. He held the officers accountable. Why? Because they weren't enforcing discipline. They weren't ensuring their men took the medicine. By making this single shift, by focusing on the environment and the standards within it, malaria rates plummeted. Combat effectiveness shot up. The lesson is powerful. Fix the environment first, then you can fix performance. Next, Slim focused on restoring self-respect. He reintroduced what might seem like basic things: strict hygiene standards, rigorous equipment checks, and incredibly realistic jungle warfare training. He wasn't doing this to be a bureaucratic stickler for the rules. He understood something profound. Belonging to a capable, disciplined team rebuilds confidence from the ground up. When you know your gear works, when you know the soldier next to you is competent, and when you know you can rely on your training, you start to believe in yourself again. This brings us to the second lesson for new managers. Clear expectations aren't about micromanagement or red tape. They are enablers of dignity and confidence. When people know what's expected of them and are given the tools and training to meet those standards, they feel a sense of pride and ownership. It's not about punishment. It's about empowering your team to be their best. Now, let's talk about authenticity. Slim was a field marshal. He didn't try to adopt soldier slang or pretend to be one of the guys. He maintained his authority, but this is key, he listened. He was present. He shared their hardships and spoke to them honestly about the difficult reality they faced. He didn't pontificate from a safe distance about abstract goals. His troops respected him because his leadership was grounded in their shared experience. He showed them, through his own actions, how to behave under immense pressure. And here is our third lesson. Your team won't copy your mission statement. They will copy your behavior under stress. How you act when the pressure is on, when a project fails, or when a deadline is missed. That's what truly defines your leadership. Your composure, your honesty, and your resilience become the template for your entire team. Slim was also a master diagnostician. He didn't rush to action or implement quick fixes just to look busy. Before making any major moves, he took the time to deeply understand the situation. What were the real constraints they were facing? What strategies had been tried before, and why did they fail? What core assumptions were people operating under that were just plain wrong? He diagnosed the root causes of the Army's problems before prescribing a solution. He built his strategy from the ground up, based on a solid foundation of reality. Rather than imposing a top-down plan that was disconnected from the front lines, the fourth lesson is this: quick fixes produce busy work, but deep diagnosis produces true alignment. Taking the time to understand the why behind a problem ensures that the solution you implement will actually be effective and that your team will understand the logic behind it. It moves you from just being busy to being productive. Finally, Slim's leadership wasn't about emotional speeches or charismatic hype. He didn't try to inspire people with empty promises. Instead, he led by methodically and relentlessly creating confidence. He built confidence that the plan was credible and based on sound logic. He built confidence that the team was capable because they had been properly trained and equipped. And he built confidence that setbacks would be treated as learning opportunities, not as something to be hidden or feared. He didn't just tell them things would get better. He created the conditions where improvement was visible, tangible, and logical. And that's the ultimate lesson for any new manager. People don't follow leaders who just talk about success. They follow leaders who create an environment where success is genuinely possible. It's about building systems, processes, and a culture that makes success the most likely outcome. So if Field Marshal Slim were your first boss, he wouldn't give you slogans. He would give you observation habits. He'd tell you to look at what actually happens on your team day to day. Look at the conditions that produce certain behaviors. And look for what real confidence looks like in action. Start with the small signals, the details that everyone else overlooks. Because that's where real leadership begins. Leadership under pressure starts with seeing what everyone else assumes is invisible. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insights on leadership. See you in the next video.